Sexual attraction is often romanticized as chemistry, a magical spark between two people that seems irresistible and beyond explanation. We're told that when our heart races, our palms sweat, and our mind replays every detail of someone's presence, it must mean we found a special connection. But Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and founder of analytical psychology, would challenge this comforting notion. He would say that what we often call chemistry is not love, not magic, and not destiny. It is our shadow calling out. Jung believed that attraction, especially the kind that feels obsessive or overwhelming, reveals more about our wounds than our desires. Behind the intoxicating pull toward another person lies the unconscious, projecting unresolved stories, unmet needs, and suppressed aspects of ourselves onto them. What feels like destiny is often a mirror, and what feels like love may actually be a repetition of trauma. This article explores Jung's darkest truth about sexual attraction, that what pulls us so powerfully towards certain people is not always who they are, but what they represent in our own unfinished psychological journey. Attraction and the shadow. Jung described the shadow as the collection of traits, desires, and experiences that we repress or deny. These disowned parts of the psyche remain active below the surface and often reveal themselves indirectly through dreams, slips of the tongue, or most powerfully, through our relationships. According to Jung, each person also carries an inner opposite. In men, this is the anima, the unconscious feminine side. In women, it is the animus, the unconscious masculine side. These figures are not just abstract ideas, they are emotionally charged forces. When we meet someone who resembles our anima or animus, the psyche lights up. We feel captivated, spellbound, unable to look away. The danger, Jung warned, is that we mistake this inner recognition for external love. We believe we found the one, but in truth we've fallen in love with the part of ourselves that has been hidden. Attraction, then, is often projection, seeing in another person what we have not integrated within ourselves. Why logic fails against desire. Most people can recall a relationship where they knew rationally that the other person was bad for them. Perhaps the partner was unavailable, manipulative, or toxic. Yet the attraction persisted, stronger than logic, stronger than self-protection. Jung explained that this happens because the unconscious mistakes such people for completion. The psyche whispers, "This person holds what you lack. If you merge with them, you will be whole." But this is an illusion. What we are truly drawn to is not the other person, but the hope of healing an inner fracture. In a world where seduction is often weaponized, whether consciously or unconsciously, this dynamic becomes dangerous. Some individuals learn, instinctively, to mirror the hidden fantasies of others. They don't need aggression to gain control. They only need to reflect what another longs for. Attraction as trauma reenactment. One of Jung's most unsettling insights is that sexual attraction often reenacts old wounds. We are not simply pulled toward what excites us. We are pulled toward what is familiar. For example, a man who grew up feeling unseen by his mother may be irresistibly drawn to women who are emotionally cold. Her withdrawal awakens him, makes him feel alive. Not because it is love, but because it echoes the earliest battle of his life. He chases her affection in an unconscious attempt to rewrite the past and win the love that was once withheld. This compulsion is not limited to men. Many women, too, fall into similar loops. Some weaponize their sexuality not out of malice, but out of pain. They may crave power rather than intimacy because safe affection was never shown to them. When a man becomes obsessed, it validates their worth. Yet the moment intimacy threatens to expose their vulnerability, they withdraw. A case study, The Mother's Shadow. Consider the story of a man who appears successful and emotionally intelligent. Outwardly, he has everything together. But in his romantic life, he is caught in a destructive cycle. Every time he falls in love, it is with a woman who rejects him, sometimes by leaving for someone else, sometimes by disappearing after intimacy, and sometimes by mocking his vulnerability. Logically, he knows these women are wrong for him. He can articulate their red flags to friends, yet he keeps returning. Why? Because unconsciously, he is not chasing love. he is chasing the ghost of his cold, distant mother. His psyche keeps choosing women who replicate that early dynamic, hoping to resolve the pain this time around. This is what Jung called repetition compulsion, the tendency to recreate unresolved wounds again and again until they are made conscious. The pull is not to the person themselves, but to the wound they represent. The programming of desire. For women, a common pattern involves being drawn to emotionally unavailable men. These men are charming, dominant, exciting, but also cold, detached, or even cruel. Such attraction can feel like a mystery. Why am I only drawn to men who hurt me? Why do I lose interest when someone is kind and stable? The answer, Jung would say, lies in emotional programming. Many women were taught, directly or indirectly, that love must be earned. Attention was conditional. Rejection meant try harder. Thus, when a man shows indifference, attraction intensifies. The unconscious recognizes the familiar pain and says, "This is the one. Let's try to fix it this time." But this is not love. It is the psyche chasing closure it never received in childhood. Projection traps and power games. When two wounded people meet, attraction can become a trap. The man projects his missing half onto the woman, believing she is his salvation. The woman enjoys the control, mistaking obsession for power. Neither loves the other for who they are. Instead, both are caught in a hall of mirrors, each seeing only their own shadow reflected back. These relationships often feel the most intense, the most dramatic, but intensity is not proof of compatibility. It is a sign of danger. As Jung noted, when desire is fueled by shadow, the transformation is rarely healthy. Why we repeat the same stories. People often lament, "Why do I always fall for the same type?" Or "I knew they were bad for me, but I couldn't stop." Jung's theory of individuation provides the answer. Until we integrate the shadow, until we face the parts of ourselves we deny, we are doomed to repeat the same unconscious choices. Desire pulls the strings, and we call it fate. We think we are choosing freely, but in truth, we are being chosen by our wounds. From chaos to clarity. Healing attraction. Jung did not share these insights to make us fear love. He wanted us to become conscious of desire's hidden voice. True love, he argued, begins with individuation, the process of integrating the anima, animus, and shadow. When we heal our wounds, attraction changes. Instead of being drawn to people who recreate our trauma, we are drawn to people who reflect our wholeness. These relationships may feel calmer, even boring at first, because our nervous system is used to chaos. But peace is not dull. It is unfamiliar until it becomes home. Falling in love with the self. The path forward, Jung suggested, is to fall in love with the disowned parts of ourselves before we fall in love with another person. When we listen to the inner cries of our shadow, heal them, and integrate them, we stop chasing external saviors. Love then becomes a choice, not a compulsion. It arises from presence, not desperation. It frees us rather than entangles us. Conclusion: desire as a teacher. The darkest truth about sexual attraction is also its most liberating one. Attraction is not simply about the other person, it is about us. It reveals our wounds, our programming, and our unfinished stories. If left unconscious, attraction can drag us into cycles of obsession, repetition, and pain. But if examined with awareness, it becomes a teacher. It points us toward the parts of ourselves we must heal. The next time your heart races with someone new, pause and ask, is this love? Or is this my shadow seeking resolution? The answer may determine whether you repeat the past or create a future built on wholeness.